What's up, guys? We're back here with the Let's Play series, 100% free to play on Archeworld, showing you, talking to you about how to progress and how to make that BSLT as a free to play player. So I've been, under the weather for the last 48 hours or so. So excuse me if I'm not sounding the greatest. I feel a little bit better today. I got a COVID booster shot, which always kicks my ass. So, yeah, that wasn't fun. But we're just simply going to log in. We're here right at the daily reset about 5 minutes before. So we're going to go turn these things in soil and log. We're going to try and change the log one as always because log's more expensive than some of the other items. And we're not going to worry about the XP or anything. We don't have enough. So herbs and soil, perfect. We're good there. We did actually log in the other day. So after the patch. And we just AFK'd. So we got a couple of these little boxes. I haven't decided if I was going to try and open them, but that would require BSLT. So that's why if you look in our inventory, we do have 6 of these things. So we were AFK for a while, collecting these Lulu's hammers. And so far, on the other accounts that have actually been opening these guys, it seems like it's either break even or a little bit profit. Like I have one account that has opened 13 of them and they've gotten 105 BSLT, so they're negative 25 BSLT. And then I got another account that just opened 10 of them and that one has 145 BSLT, so that one is profiting 45 BSLT. So it does look like the odds, even though the small sample size there are about even. It doesn't look like you're going to lose your shirt on these things, so it might be worthwhile to open them. I talked in the Discord a little bit when this event was announced that this looks like hey, we're sorry, there was a delay going on, so we give you this event. And I would assume that the rates are decent because they wouldn't want to give a shitty event and then have people more upset about what's going on. So there's a person right there. So I don't know if we want to harvest our crops yet. We'll just chill. Some people asked about what to sell out of the coin purses. You sell these guys. You sell these faint stones of rift. Obviously, they're not selling that much right now. They are on the cheap side. 0.0256. If you take a look at the sell history, though, it goes all the way up to 0.13. So potentially a good profit there. 5 extra money if you could buy them at that 0.2 and then sell them for 0.11. Or 0.02. And so if we still don't know about the rumor is that you need 20 ancestral tokens to actually level up to ancestral level 6. So we don't know that. We're just gonna go take this gamble and buy this. So if you do need 20 ancestral level tokens to get to rank 6 and ancestral levels, that's a lot of these tokens that are gonna be just burned. That's 10,000 tokens per person, and you can see on average about 4,000 of these are sold per day. There's a random day where there's 12,000 sold in one day, but on average about 4,000 or 5,000 of these guys look to be sold every single day. And the sales prices, they do get up a little bit higher, so 0.05 there, 0.10 on that one. Like if someone is trying to buy 10,000 of anything, they're going to dramatically increase the price. Like if you need 10,000 of these, even if you need 500 of these guys, right? So if you need 500 of these guys, which is what you need to get ancestral level 1, and I'm pretty sure almost everyone's going to need to get to ancestral level 1 to start fighting these new monsters that are coming out on Wednesday. So 500, we got 30, 30, so I'm rounding up here, 30, 90, 30, 30, 150. We'll round down on this one since we've rounded up before, 170, round down again, 190. Round down, 210, 230, so 250, 270, 290, 310, 330, 350, 370, 30, 400. So right there, you'd have to buy all of these up to get 400. And so right now you're at 0.06. So you can see, so getting up to 500, you'd probably have to buy all the way up to like right here. So you would end up changing this price. Oh, the prices Oh, we're not on right. Why is it? It looks like we weren't on the right one, were we? My vision. Yeah, it looks like we had the wrong tab going, so maybe we actually overpaid on the Stone Rift earlier. So always got to make sure that you're on the price per item at the lowest. And so yeah, you see there's a whole bunch more right here. Now there's actually stacks of 500. Yeah, so we didn't have the correct sorting system going, which it happens sometimes, right? Like I said, under the weather slightly, so not not fully here. But in this case, there is a lot. There's 500 right there, so 0.024. So if we had it in the correct sorting method, we probably wouldn't have actually bought those Faint Stones of Rift, because there's a whole bunch right here. So even just to get to 500 is right there. You can get another 500, it's about right here. Like just the first couple of ones. But the rumor is that you need 20 Ancestral tokens to get to Ancestral level 6. So again, 10,000 of the Stone of Rifts, and then that would require 20 of the Shadowgun Rare Crystals, which would be a great benefit to the economy, because the Stones of Rift, as you can see, are not really selling for much. There's a lot of them out there. We need ways to burn these things. Same thing with the Shadowgun Rare Crystals. These things are getting cheap, cheap, cheap. They're around like 16, 17 BSLT right now. So having another way to burn these things is really good. And then afterwards, the guess would be that going to Ancestral level 11 would require this token, this Ancestral token, rank number 2. And you can see it requires 4 of the purple ones, it requires 500 of the Bright Stone of Rift, and then also an Archeum core. And so at a certain point, you get to max level, right? You're either level 55, and then you can't get any more XP until you go to Ancestral levels. Well, a lot of people are going to get frustrated and want to go to Ancestral levels at some point, because it's like, why waste all of that XP that you're getting, right? And then you can also sell your XP after you go to the Ancestral levels. So the same thing will happen once you get to Ancestral level 5 and you're maxed out at level 5, and you're like, well, man, I'm wasting all this XP. I should upgrade to Ancestral level 6. And then also with the arenas starting to give out BSLT weekly for rankings, that's what you really want to focus on now as a free-to-play player, in my opinion. Obviously, all this stuff is my opinion. Nothing is factual. There is no like best or only way to play Archeworld. You get to play this game however which way you want. So my opinion right now is that you should be focusing on the 1v1 arena, because in the 1v1 arena, if you get into the top 100, you're going to get 40 BSLT per week. So if you keep staying in the top 100, so top 100 to top 51, so 51 to 100 will end up getting 40 BSLT. If you get higher, if you somehow manage to get up into the top like 40, you're going to get 80 BSLT. You'll notice that the higher you go, the stronger enemies that you're going to be fighting. But if you are very good at PvP, this is going to be what you want to do. And you can see this person right here, 12-7 gear score. So this person is a very free-to-play-ish player, has slightly, not free-to-play stuff, probably some armors. Yep, so has 2 pieces of armor upgraded to tier 4, it looks like. And 4 pieces of armor upgraded to tier 4. So that's the only difference right here. And so you could have this same kind of gear score simply by playing the game and progressing your character, doing the raids, getting the Archeum cores, which obviously takes RNG and luck. But it is definitely doable and possible as a free-to-play player. That person is probably a free-to-play player, my guess, or maybe they spent like 50 bucks. Unfortunately, now it looks like the starter pass is gone off of the website. It was supposed to be removed on the 27th, so yesterday. So I haven't personally checked, but the starter pack is no longer there, supposedly, based on what they said before. Which means now the only way to get BSLT is through the exchanges, and you have to do a bunch of crypto swaps, and it's going to be a very painful experience to do that. All right, so low XP 40, that sounds good. We don't have much energy. Like I said, still tired and out of it from the other day. So let's go ahead and teleport over and get these quests done. So we need to go to Sandeep. I think we're over here. Okay, Sandeep. But yeah, so now every patch, every time something new comes, you always have to reassess what's going on in the game and the economy. And as I said, now I think it's more about arena and 1v1. So the coin purses aren't really giving much money. There might be some new loot out of the ancestral coin purses that are really good. So you have to make that assessment when the content comes out. But we already do know that the arenas are going to be giving out BSLT and getting in the top 100. You can do that as a free-to-play player, but you do have to be good at PvP. So that's something to give it a shot. Try that. And so here's all of our labor potions. Unfortunately, the labor potions that we did purchase, the price has gone down. And the reason the price has gone down is because we didn't get any new content this week. So we took the gamble, we bought these right before the maintenance, and then they said, hey, no content. So now labor potions are actually a lot cheaper. So if we would have waited, we could have gotten a lot more labor potions. They're down to 2.6 right now, which we bought ours at like 3.8, I think, 3.7 maybe. So we are definitely in the negative on the labor potions. But my guess is still that once the new content comes out, these labor potions will go back up in value. Because there's also another thing that I haven't touched upon yet, but there's like a floor price on labor, right? Well, at least there should be in theory, because labor potions are made from houses, and houses, they cost 100 BSLT to rent from a player, or 135 BSLT to rent from XL Games. The price can change a little bit, can fluctuate a little bit based on supply and demand, and now the price is variable. But in generally, those are going to be the prices, 100 and 135. And so at certain points, the amount that you spend doesn't give you enough BSLT. Like if you spend 135 on your house and you sell your labor potions for 2 BSLT, you're not going to end up actually making any money. You're going to end up losing money on your house purchase for the month. And you're also going to be wasting time and energy going in and harvesting your labor potion and using the labor on the Archeum machine, for example. So there's a cutoff point where the labor and the Archeum just isn't worthwhile to do. And so the question is, are people smart enough to realize, like, hey, this is bad. I shouldn't be making labor potions, and I shouldn't be making Archeum because it's not worthwhile to rent a house. So that's the big question. Does the general population understand the fact that if you rent something for 100 BSLT, but by making labor in Archeum, you only earn 80 BSLT in that month, that they shouldn't do it? Like if they're losing 20 BSLT every single month, you would think that people would stop doing it. But I question the sanity of some people sometimes, and I think that a lot of the people are very stupid, and so that they're not going to realize that it's not profitable to do that for some time. I think we're going to see labor potions and Archeum go lower because of those reasons. Is that like, well, they don't calculate the numbers, they don't crunch the data, and they don't realize that, hey, if I sell my labor potion for 2 and if I sell my Archeum for 20, I'm not making any money, I'm actually losing money. Plus, when you factor in the time that it is taking to log in and harvest and such, yeah, I think that very well could happen. But on the other side, I think there are some smart people out there that will realize, like, hey, this is not profitable, this is not worthwhile. And so when they stop selling their labor potions and stop selling their Archeum, stop doing this, then the prices will go up slightly. So there's a good balance between the smart and the dumb people. The smart people might still do the activities, and they still might make the labor potions, they still might make the Archeum, but they're not going to sell it at such a cheap price because they know that it's not profitable to do that, that they'll actually just hold on to their labor and they'll hold on to their Archeum until the prices go back up. The more dumb people will actually keep pushing the prices down and just keep selling, and keep making them, and then whine and complain about why is the land not profitable. So I think that's what's going to happen, and then eventually the dumb people will run out of money, because if you constantly rent something for say 100 BSLT a month, and then every month you're losing 20 BSLT, it's only going to take you, what, 5 months to be out of BSLT, and you can no longer rent that property anymore. Like, it could even be shorter too. The 5 months will be like that you'd be down to 0 BSLT, right? So if they only have 100 BSLT total, and then like they earned a little bit the first month, and then now the second month they're doing a rent, and then now they lose 20 BSLT, they might be back at their 100 BSLT price. And then the third month comes around and they're like, we only have 85 BSLT. What's going on? We can't rent our property anymore. So things like that could happen a lot sooner, rather than 5 months where they just completely lost all their BSLT. So it's very interesting to see. I do think that when new content comes out, the labor potion price will go up. I don't know if it will go back up to like 10 BSLT. Like 10 BSLT is crazy, especially now there's a surplus. There's a lot of extra labor potions. As you can see on the auction house, you start to see a lot of people selling labor potions in bundles of like 5, 10, like big quantities of labor potions. And that means there's a surplus of labor. Like here's one that's got 17 labor potions. Like there's a lot of labor potions that are for sale. The same thing is happening with Archeum too, and so people thought it was just the moles that were pushing the price down, but Archeum is back to about 30 BSLT just for the 10,000 bundles, and there is no moles. There's no moles whatsoever. It's simply just the houses that are pushing down the Archeum price because no one is buying the Archeum. They need content. They need new reasons to upgrade your character and your gear, and so the arena content will actually provide that. That gives you a reason to upgrade your character. The rewards, I think, are insanely good. We calculated this the other day with the BSLT price at like 45 cents. If you were number 1 in the arena for 1 whole year and all the numbers stayed the same, the BSLT reward and then also the BSLT price at 45, you would end up making over $50,000 by playing arena and being the number 1 player on the server for 1 year. Like that's mind-blowing to me, right? You could be playing a video game, playing just arenas, not even 24/7, you just play a couple times a day, and if you're the best PvP 1v1er, you'll make 50 grand a year, like if the prices all stay the same. Like that is insane. Obviously the prices will fluctuate. Like I don't expect prices to stay the same at this point. So just take it a little bit slower. Just in 1 month, the person's going to end up getting about $4,500 if they win 4 times out of the month. If they get first place in 4 times in that month, like that's a lot of money. 4,500 USD is a ton of money for playing a video game. And again, it's simply doing arena a couple times a day, not even no lifing it, not even 24/7 playing the game. But again, that is only one person. Second, third place also get a bunch of BSLT, but nowhere near as much as the first place winner. The top 10 all get decent amount of BSLT. I believe second and third get like 1,200 BSLT. I'm not sure what 4th to 10th get, but they do get a good chunk of BSLT. So with that being said, that means people are going to upgrade their characters to try and become stronger and move up in the rankings, right? At least they should in theory. And then also now with new stronger mobs, you have to be stronger to hit these mobs because you're going to start seeing invalid once again. At least that's the theory, because these are ancestral level mobs. You might not be able to land hits on them anymore because your combat level is too low compared to the mob's combat level. I mean, we see people hit invalid on the ancestral raid bosses, so it makes sense that the ancestral level mobs also you'd hit invalid as well. They did say too that the mobs are going to be placed in all of the war zones, so there's going to be 10 different spawns in 8 of the war zones, so there's not going to be that many mob locations. So those are also going to be contested. A lot of PvP will happen. People are not going to want you to like share their mobs. Be like, yeah, you can come over. You can take some of my mobs that I'm farming. especially if the rewards are really good. We didn't see any of this competition in the coin purse event, the lucky coin purse event. That's because every single mob was dropping a coin purse. It didn't matter what mob you were farming or where you were farming. There was just thousands upon thousands of mobs up in the world, and you could just kill any mobs that you wanted. Whereas now, when you have just a small amount of, ancestral level mobs, everyone will be contesting over these mobs. And yes, the population has decreased some, but I do expect people to come back for the new content. And I do think that there will be contested PvP at these spots. So I'm very excited for the update. Unfortunately, it did suck that it got delayed a day or a week. But at least they gave us data information on the update, so we know more about what's going on. It's always fun to theory craft about what's going to happen, but it is very nice to actually, okay, this is what's happening. We're getting mobs in the old zones, which now we can understand, like, okay, so mobs being in the old zones are going to trigger the rift events more often. Because also with less players playing the game, there's less time that these maps go to war because people aren't really fighting monsters. Which then that slows down the rift economy. So putting all the new mobs in the old maps is a very good idea, I think. And they still obviously have to take care of bots. You got bots running around. There has been a lot less of bots though that I have seen. So, do give them a little bit of credit for that. There has been a little bit less bots. And that is it for us. We did our XP. We are all done. The train of bots. And it's funny because you would think that you would just put a GM someone right there who is just like blowing up the bots, right? But I guess they don't want to have a manual person in there 24/7, blowing up the bots. But all you'd have to do is you'd have to put the person there for a couple days, maybe a week or two, and then the bots would realize, like, hey, we're not actually making any money. This is not profitable. We'll stop doing this. But XL Games is cheap. They don't want to put a human player in here to, kill the bots. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.